Single parenting and spiritual awakening, my 5-year journey to the wilderness. I just wanted to share this video. Hopefully this can help somebody else if you're on your spiritual journey, your spiritual path. Spirit led me to make this video, so hopefully it helps. 5 years ago, I thought I knew who I was. In 2015, I had the honor and privilege of becoming a single dad, single parent. And at the time, I thought I knew who I was. I thought I was the job, the title of dad, the car, the vehicle, you know, the home. I thought that's really what I was. I didn't really know what I know today. But today, without a doubt, I know who I am. And that's one with God. And it's taken 5 years of God's tests and trials and tribulations to get me here and to know who I actually am today. And I just wanted to share that with some people that might be on their path. So 2015, I was a single parent, became a single dad, and for 7 years I was a single parent until 2019. Of my 2 teenage kids, a boy and girl. And in 2019, when the pandemic hit, I ended up losing everything. I lost the job, the car, the home, and then ended up losing my kids, and I had to go to live with their grandmother. So after 7 years, we established this bond and this relationship, and it was all tore apart, including who I thought I was. And I ended up living in a motel, and I just didn't want to cover as well. As a parent, this is what I was going through. Being a provider, doing my part. You know, I love being a single parent. I love being a single parent. It was a challenge. It is a challenge in itself. And then to add spiritual awakening on top of that, it's a really big challenge. So as a parent, I just felt disappointed, you know, and I felt like I was a letdown and a failure, and, you know, what was I doing wrong? I was just being a dad and working and providing, and it was all just ripped away. So that's how I was looking at it. I started self-sabotaging. I turned to drugs and drinking, thinking that I was going to work. I didn't have anything else to deal with life with, you know. Like, unlike today where I have breathwork and meditation, it's a lot different. So just having a breakdown of not knowing what to do in life, and my kids suffering, I was suffering. You know, my kids took it very hard, and now I want to touch on how my kids saw it and what they experienced. And so they saw dad for 7 years being a dad and providing, and, you know, traveling and having fun and enjoying each other. You know, I was working in a chemical refineries, so we lived decently, and so they saw dad living that life and being the dad and the go-to guy, to ultimately dad losing his job and falling apart and turning to drugs and drinking, self-sabotaging myself, which they didn't like and didn't, you know, and they never seen that side of me before. So I ended up in a motel. They were at their grandmother's house. You know, my kids took it very hardly. My daughter was, you know, ran away. She was cutting herself, just feeling depressed, and their light just totally dimmed out by what had taken place. So I want to touch on that, because that was the cause of me losing everything, which forced me to do something different, because I was just helpless and lost, and my old ways weren't working at 41 years old. So after 41 years of thinking that I knew what I was doing, so I did a motel. The cause was I lost everything, so which caused me to seek out and ask for help from a higher power that I heard could do miracles, and I knew that my ways weren't working. So I cried out to God like never before. And I don't want to stay stuck on this too much. I do have another video that I made about this, but I cried out to God, and, you know, the Lord led me to Spirit Source, led me to breathwork and meditation, which had definitely changed my life. And I was doing that a couple of months, and lo and behold, my door started opening up. I ended up getting my kids back after that first time, and my kids even noticed a difference in me, and were curious, like, you know, this breathwork and meditation has changed their dad again. And doors started opening up. I got a vehicle. We ended up in an RV, temporarily living in an RV, whatever it took for us to be back and reunite together. So we did that, and I was doing my breath work and meditation every day. And I have been for the last five years and 3 months now. So starting in 2021. So then we ended up moving to Colorado. Opportunity presented itself. We moved to Colorado from Houston, Texas area, and gave it another chance in Colorado. Everything's working out great. It was difficult in the beginning, and things started working out. A new life, a new chance in Denver, Colorado area. So we did that, and things started falling apart again. And here I was doing my breathwork meditation. I was just thought that, what am I being punished again, and why is this happening? And once again, we had to. I was in a car accident, which really sealed the deal. And God used the car accident to start this process off for me. And now I see that, but at the time I didn't. So we ended up coming back to Houston, Texas area with the rental car. The kids had to go back to the grandmother's house, and I've been pretty much in the wilderness and homeless ever since, for the second time. But the only difference this time is that I now had breathwork and meditation to get me through this, which I didn't have the first time. So I think that's important for people to understand, that how important breathwork and meditation and prayer has been to get me through this, after 5 years. And it definitely has opened up new doors. By doing my breathwork and meditation out here, being homeless for the last 2 years, it has been very difficult, and it has been a test and very uncomfortable. But with breathwork and meditation and becoming one with God through breathwork and meditation, you definitely are not alone. And like Spirit had let me know in 2023, when all this happened, whenever we ended up coming back to the Houston, Texas area, that I ultimately had prayed for this. And God doesn't just give you patience and understanding, and He puts you in positions to learn that. And that's exactly what He's been doing for the last 2 years. And that's what I wanted to share, with some of these things that I've learned, that maybe it can help others as well. So this has all been a big shock to me too. I've been working in chemical refineries for the last 25 years, making decent money. And that's really where my income was. So after that was taken away, I had no other way, which this is exactly what God needed for me to go through, is separate me from my kids, from everybody, even turn my phone off, because I needed to be still and sit down. And being that my kids and I were separated, one big thing is that Spirit had let me know and confirmed to me that I need to trust God with my own kids, and my kids themselves would be okay. But I had to get out here in the wilderness to hear God's voice and depend on God and God only. And I couldn't have done that with my kids around. I couldn't have did that with a job. It was required for me to be isolated and no income, with no family, no anything. I've lost a lot of family and friends along this way, and it's okay. It's part of the plan. Not everybody's going to go where you're going. And some of those were the best things that ever happened to me, is detaching from people, places, and things that were like anchors holding me back, and I would have never been able to move forward, being attached to some people, places, and things. So whenever I was detached out here, it's been scary in the beginning. It was all unknown to me, and as a parent, my worst fear I had to face was being homeless. And I'm grateful that my kids had their grandmother's house to go to while I'm going through this, because Spirit did let me know that I couldn't be operating at a state of fear. And if something was that happened to me again, like in a pandemic, then I would fall apart. And this time I was being taught to not have to lean on a job or anything else, but depend on God. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years, is depending on God, is for food, for income. It has been one big test. And in the beginning, it has been rough. But with time and God on your side, and becoming and having, being one with God, you're just being led through obstacles and situations, people that will test you. But ultimately, I found that God just wants us to stay solid and not change like the weather, and not allow people, places, and things to steal our joy. That's one big thing that I've learned, is things will affect you and bother you, and it will irritate you, but the objective is to see it as it's being a test to teach you, not to allow those things to affect you, because on this path, not everybody's going to like you. on the spiritual path. And it's not that they don't like you, it's what they don't like what's inside of you. They don't like that spirit that's shedding light onto some of their darknesses or their fears or their ego or their pride. And it toughens your skin. It forces you to have tough skin out here and understand that not everybody's going to like you, but really what matters is what God cares about you, and you're doing what God calls you to do, like your assignment or your destiny. You have to be you're on the good path, the right path now. So I did learn that another thing that I've learned as a single parent and spiritual awakening is that I put everything into my kids. My life revolved around my kids, which was great at the time. But if you're a parent and you know a single parent, at times that when your kids go maybe visit with mom or dad or however they visit and they're away and you're alone, I noticed that I was bored. I missed my kids so much because being a single parent for 7 years, I can't speak from experience that my life did revolve around my kids, which whenever they weren't there, I fell apart because a part of me was missing because I put all of my love and attention into them. And whenever they weren't around, I didn't know how to function. And that's one thing that, I mean, I love my kids very much. It's not that you don't love your kids, but what I've learned is that I can't allow, whether my kids are there or not there, I have to stay solid, and I can't allow that to stray me away and be weak and fall apart like I did the first time. And I started self-sabotaging myself because I was just lost. I felt all these mixed feelings, but it was necessary this time for me to understand that I have to stay solid with my kids there or not, because ultimately we came here alone and we're going to leave here alone. And my beliefs as a parent is that, yes, you have to lead by example. And that was my goal for the 7 years. I understand that what you do inside your home and how you teach your kids and teach them respect and manners is what's going to show on the outside when they become an adult. It's going to be a reflection of you as a parent. So I understood that, and which is why I monitored my kids' diet and kept them going outside and doing stuff that I grew up doing outdoors, and fishing, camping, riding bikes, and that's the bond that we have created. But being that I was attached to them so much that I had to separate myself and understand that I'm still going to be a father, but I had to fix myself first. I had to learn how to function and not fall apart like they saw me do previously. And now that they see me doing breathwork and meditation, and they seen that, I give glory to God for this experience, and I let them know, which that was the before then, them seeing what I went through. And now that I've got them back, I mean, when I did get them back, they saw that breathwork and meditation was helping me, where it pretty much shifted my mindset completely. But now the second time, I've learned that I have to detach from people, places, and things, and I have to be happy being alone. And being alone has what led me to being free. And I was lost before, but being alone is what allowed God to do his part and work and teach me. And the teacher inside of us to take over and lead me rather than me leading the way and who I thought I was leading the way. Now I let spirit lead the way. And that's a big difference is how I was functioning, operating out of love and allowing God to do his part. Every morning I have my discipline. Every morning I get up, and before I start my day, I do my breath work and meditation. And in my opinion, this is my opinion in my journey, and everybody's journey is different, I understand. Just take the good and leave stuff that doesn't resonate with you. Leave it there. So doing breath work and meditation every morning, in my opinion, allows God and gives room for God to do his part. And by not doing that, I wasn't giving God the time and day to do, and the spirit, the teacher, the comforter, to do his part. And that's one main thing that I do every day, and it's helped me get through this every day, day by day. And being in the present moment, like right now I'm making a video. My mind is here with you, making this video. It's not any other direction. Prior to, I wasn't able to settle the mind and calm the mind. But that's what prayer, meditation, breath work has done for me and has allowed me to do. And just give God, all the glory for this experience, because the fear of making videos. I just give credit to God because he has allowed me and given me the courage to not care what people think and only depend on what God thinks of me. I want to give credit there to make videos, to go through all I've been through and understand that it's not what you own and where you live is not who you are. There's a part of you inside of you that is necessary and who you really are, part of you. And through breathwork and meditation has led me here to understand where we're at. Now, the second time, let me touch on this, is that my kids for 2 years have been living with their grandmother's house, which is, it's been very uncomfortable for them. They actually feel what it feels like to be living in poverty and not have and do all the things that we used to do. I am grateful for their grandmother and grandfather have been, there for them and has given them, a place and allowed them a place to stay. But grandma and grandpa didn't ask for this, and it's not their responsibility. That's my responsibility, and they don't have the finances to do how we used to do and live the way we used to live. So it's been a learning lesson for my kids as well. But now that it's been 2 years, they've, kind of gotten upset with me. They're disappointed, like my daughter's upset with me. She said I'm a letdown. She's embarrassed of me. Why? And if this was God's doing, why would God do this and keep us separated and have me homeless? And upset with God. She's not very happy with God if this is God's doing. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all for what they're going through. They don't have the eyes to see what I see. And so I'm the bad guy now, and I'm the guy that's not doing my part and not providing and everything else, and not to mention, some of the verbal abuse that they might get, because not everybody knows and is called to do what you're called to do. And if they don't have the eyes to see, they don't understand, so therefore they'll, usually talk negative about it. And so in my kids' eyes, I'm kind of the bad guy right now. I'm the guy that's a letdown, and 2 years of being isolated, they don't understand that, and it's very hard on them, and it's rough on them, and I'm excited and looking forward to getting back to them. But I do understand that it's on God's timing. I'm on God's timing now. And previously I had made plans, and had obligations to uphold at this time, and I'm not upholding them. My son recently turned 18 years old. The plan was to be there to help my son drive and practice driving and get his driving test, and I'm not there. The plans didn't work out the way I wanted them to work out, and we planned for so many years. I had financial obligations, with my daughter. We had planned a big quinceañera for years, and and now that I'm here, I'm unable to uphold that obligation. So naturally, I'm the bad guy, and it might take you to be the bad guy. You might have to be in the world's eyes, but in God's eyes, you're not. You're doing exactly what you should be called to be doing, and that's so important, is to stop trying to get the world's confirmation that you're doing right, and them giving a pat on the back for doing what the world wants you to do. But I'm not conforming to the world, and my mind has been transformed and renewed. The spirit has been activated, and it doesn't apply to the world's timing, so it's been rough though. I have to suffer that, and I have to go through that, of knowing that what it feels like not to be able to provide for my kids, and my kids having to go through what they're going through, and knowing my daughter, ran away when this first happened the first time. This is not easy at all to deal with, but it's necessary. And one thing that once you commit to this, and you commit to God and this awakening, you have to once you submit, you have to commit. And that's been a hard part. It really has. There's times that, and it's okay to get upset with God because you don't understand what's going on. And it's okay to get upset and be angry, but just know and trust in God that, because it's not going your way, what I found, it's usually going God's way. And whenever you're letting go and you're transforming into a new life, a new mindset, those old ways and everything that you you've known for so long, they got to go in order for you to go into the new life that you're desiring to move to, and that God's calling you to move on to. So that's something that hopefully that can help with understanding that, you know, you have to detach, even if it's temporary for your kids, even if it's 2 years, whatever it might be. It's required, you know, go all the way. Don't do it halfway. And like I mentioned, like Spirit let me know in 2023 when this started, and let me know that I prayed for this. You know, I reassured and let God know, hey, look, Lord, if this is your calling and this is what you want me to do, then do not release me until you're done with me. And that's been 2 years ago. And the good news is that now I'm done with it. You know, now I'm done with all the storms and everything I've been through, the hurricanes and tropical storms that I had to go through out here, the people stealing stuff from me, my life being threatened numerous times out here on the street. It's all been necessary, and you are safe. You're in God's hands. You know, it's a good feeling to know you're not alone, and that you can trust God and pretty much live like the animals and the birds out here, not caring and not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, but just trusting that it will. And it's taken 5 years to get to this point where my ultimate trust is into God, to Spirit, to Source, every day. And I know in due time, and I'll get back to my kids, and I know that this is necessary now to become the father and the parent that I couldn't have been, and that I wasn't before. But it took refinement from God. It put me under fire and really shed light onto all those darknesses, the pride and the ego and who I thought I was, and that's not who I was. It was a part of me, but it's not who I was, and not who I am, sorry. And it took this to get here. So I encourage you to stay strong. You're not alone. I'm here with you. There's many people's stories, and I just feel like I'm just putting my story out as far as the as that I'm required to do, you know, as ultimately we're all here in this to win this. And I just want to do my part and know that this is what God's calling me to do, and be present here in the moment and taking it day by day, knowing and trusting every day. It's not comfortable, but in the long run, I think my kids will be grateful, and I know that I'll be grateful that I've been through all of this. This is kind of like my testimony, and just know that it's a good thing, and the grass is greener on this other side. And just do not give up. Keep doing your discipline every day, your breath work, your prayer, your meditation, and trusting God. And that's ultimately what He wants. I'm just here as a messenger, sharing my story to help. Another quick story, a quick idea, or however you want to look at it, is that I want to share with you, is that Spirit let me know it's like we're kind of like oysters, like a hard oyster with a hard shell, that it's taken us years to get where we are, and for that pearl inside to be created. But those rough edges, that dark side of you, that shadow side of you that got you through those times that were hard and rough, it was necessary to protect what's on the inside of you. See, our vessel, our body is like the shell of that oyster, but deep down inside of you, you have a beautiful pearl, a beautiful spirit waiting to shine. But it's there dormant, waiting for you. It's been there the whole time, but it's waiting for you to acknowledge it. And through breathwork and meditation, I've come to that realization that that spirit is inside of all of us, and not to just disregard or get rid of that shell or that shadow. It's a part of you, to embrace it and be grateful for that vessel has got you this far. And ultimately, that's what oneness has become, is to embrace the darkness and the light, the good and the bad, and know that it's all in one, and that's who you are. That's where this is my opinion. This is where I've, like I said, I can't tell you what to do or how to do it. I just can only share what I have to give, and that's my personal experience. So I hope this helps out. I do appreciate the comments, the inbox messages, the emails. Feel free to share with me your story. My email and all that's in there on my profiles through Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. But feel free. We're not alone out. You're not alone out here. I'm here. All the chosen ones, or people that are on your spiritual path, fixing to go through this or going through this now, We're all in this to win this. I'm just here doing my part. So thanks for watching. Once again, too, I don't get back to my messages right away. I make these videos. I don't have a phone. I haven't had phone service for almost a year. I don't have an active phone service. So I make videos when I'm called to do them, and then I have to walk up to where I have a free Wi-Fi somewhere, and then I'll upload them. But I do get back to those messages and those inboxes, and I really appreciate you watching, and I wish you the best on your path, and I'm here for you. I'm here with you. You're not alone. God's with you every day, all day. Just give him that room to be there with you. Make space for him to come into your life. Do your breath work and meditation. Look into that. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching.